Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's I, the British Wolf, and today is the first episode of my free play series, where we'll be finding free games on Steam and generally pointing you in the direction of them, seeing if they're any good, seeing if they're terrible, and seeing if they're just in that middle ground where nobody really knows what to say about it. Today I have played the Red Stair. Now this was originally supposed to be a Let's Play, a sort of playthrough of it, but firstly, I didn't do a particularly good job in it. I screwed up on one very simple thing. When I played it alone, I actually successfully managed to go through the first level, because there's 2 levels to my knowledge. There's only the 2, but I mean, you are getting a free game here, so what do you expect? And it's basically a room-scale investigation game. It's basically a game where you have to figure out who's the various things at the certain times. Like, who is a informant for the communists, or who's the actual spy, things like that. And it's quite impressive, because as I found out later, sadly I don't have any recording of it, but as I found out later, you can actually burn images and documents that you no longer need. You can obviously smoke a cigarette, which isn't inherently useful to the game, but I mean it adds immersion because you're a 50s detective. Wanna know what I say? I say there's a communist in this building. See, there's a lot of people who are sympathizing with the communists. See, there's always plenty of communists. See, I see. Sorry about that. I got very 50s on me. But it's an interesting game, and it is very impressive for the fact that it's free. It's a VR game that is free. It has 2 levels. I didn't play the second one. I only played the red level. And it's interesting. It's basically like Guess Who, or for you younger people who don't play board games, it's basically like Prop Hunt, or Guess Who in Gmod, you know? But the reference to the older board game Guess Who, which nobody plays anymore, was a bit more relevant because you have to find out the most fiddliest of details. Like in the playthrough that I had, you had to figure out who was the... Firstly, it became easy. It was sort of like, take a picture of the person who's helping us, and then take a picture of the crime scene after it was killed, and take a picture of the person stealing the briefcase. You had to be quick with that. Then it came over to take a picture of all the sympathizers, all the communist sympathizers in the alleyway. And then it became find out which one meets up with both other sympathizers alone. So instead of all 3, you had to figure out which one went to the other 2, as the other 2 would not intersect. And eventually it got to this whole crazy thing where you had to keep it down at a diner, make sure that you found the briefcase, figure out who was the other informant, make sure you figured out who the spy was, you got a tip from someone who actually wasn't giving you a useful tip. It was very in-depth, and it got quite hectic towards the end. I was burning photos and lining up cigarettes in my mouth to look like a human chimney, which, by the by, was quite fun to do. Although, remember, kids, don't smoke. And, it was a very simple system. There was a few problems I had, where photos would glitch through the walls and certain things would just disappear for no reason. But otherwise it was a very fun game, and it was so simple. It's just a premise of you taking photos of people and making sure you figure out who's a communist threat and who isn't. I didn't play the radio because I'm pretty sure most of the music on there is copyrighted, but I can't be certain for that. You can mess around with the blackboard, which I did, and I will show you in the video how immature I can be. And it's actually quite impressive, just the level of detail for something that, again, is a free VR game. I mean, there's quite a few free games out there, but I haven't really played that many on VR. And it's impressive that this one was so in-depth. It was like Job Simulator, but rather than jobs, it's, you know, a DI simulator. It's a dick simulator. Come on, you were all expecting me to say it. Anyway, but yeah, if you have a headset, doesn't matter which one, because it works with both Oculus and Vive, I would check it out, because the team who did this, I have to say, I have some respect for them, because that is an impressive amount of work. It's not perfect, it's not like a AAA level standard, and as I said, there was a few glitchy moments for me, but I loved it. Like, the controls were a bit fiddly, things glitched, some things didn't make sense. You're not given too many instructions. You're given enough, but that led to some confusions when I first started playing it. Once you get into it, you start picking it up a bit faster. But it was a great game for what it was, and if you have a VR headset and you're into, you know, investigations and crime scene like games, I would definitely check it out, because that is, I mean, it's not a crime scene like a murder, but it's still got that sort of interesting feeling that sort of brings you towards the crime scene sort of thing, where you want to investigate the situation, figure out the clues and who's who and what's what and all this and that. It's good for that sense. So if you have a headset, check it out. It's on Steam. The Red Stare. It's free. Oculus or Vive, both perfectly fine. So long as you have the controllers, that's all that matters. And I'd say it's a reasonable size considering what it is. It's not. I mean, obviously, I'm a bit biased in size, because, you know, I tend to work with megabytes rather than gigabytes. But for those of you out there, it's probably about 7 to 8 gigabytes in size. I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me. And it's good fun for while it lasts. There's 2 missions. I completed the first one, and there are actually achievements, which also surprised me, because not many short or free games have achievements. So yeah, check it out. The Red Stare on Steam. Brilliant people who made it. They even left a little Easter egg of their staff photo, so feel free to have a look at that and point out how blurry it is. Well, what do you expect? It's a first person on a photo of first person, so it's not going to be perfect. Anyway, but yeah, it is a very good game, and I would suggest that you check it out. I've been the British Wolf. This has been Free Play, the review of the Red Stare. I keep saying Red Glare. It's completely different wrong. This has been a review of the Red Stare for Free Play, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.